Hello, and welcome everyone. We are playing World of Warships Legends. This is an arena map that I had been sitting on for a little bit. That was decent, that I just hadn't had the time to do the voiceover for. So here she is. I think arena was probably like, at least this particular round was probably like a week or so ago. And then it was kind of a short match, so and then we have ranked matches going on more recently, so I actually played a little bit of those. I definitely prefer arena just because we're signaling the team here to kind of go up north along this side of the map here, right? But yeah, I typically like arena a little bit better just because it's XP based. It really mixes things up, having 4 teams instead of 2, like that kind of thing. So it's kind of a fun. It makes the game feel a little bit different, right? So, and then since it's XP based, you don't have to get wins to kind of progress through the reward tiers. You can just play a bunch and still get decent rewards out of it, right? So, wanted to go along that side, but I also really want this reload booster here. So swinging around to get this, and then depending on if anything gets spotted or not, we may head back towards our team to just kind of stick together. This kind of game, you can occasionally set up a crossfire or something, but for the most part, other teams are going to be the ones, putting people in crossfires, right? So it's general rule of thumb. It's best to stick with the group. There's definitely a strength in numbers kind of mentality when playing these the 4 teams here. So we've got kind of the classic division, right? 1 destroyer, 1 cruiser, 1 battleship, right? The other thing too is you can see. I don't know if you have to have the higher end consoles, but you can see smoke screens and bullets flying on the map when you go into the map view. Of course, you can't see that on the mini map, but it's super helpful. Even if those ships aren't spotted, you can see those bullets. So it's super helpful in determining where teams are, where action is, and especially where smoke screens are too. It's a good tool to use to see if your torpedoes might be able to make it into that smoke screen. You can kind of go into the map, use it as a reference point. We'll see if we can't help out with this destroyer on the orange team. To give our destroyer some, I imagine, relief here. So if he can keep him spotted, we will use our smoke screen so that we don't get wasted by everybody, because we're going to be broadside to them so that we can get lots and lots of guns to fire. This Emile Bertin will dump torpedoes his direction, even though they can't hit. People are going down. But just in case he were to press forward, those torpedoes are on the way, right? But it doesn't look like he's going to do that, but we'll still take the chance. Also, there's a destroyer too somewhere, so maybe he'll circle around. Whatever. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so... Unless I've got a guaranteed scenario with torpedoes, obviously I'm not just going to dump them just to waste them, but man, everybody who I want to shoot at seems to want to die. We will take this Durfel Flinger on. I can't imagine our AP bullets are going to do this much to him this far away, but he's really the only one we can shoot at, and I'd like to stay in our smoke screen. We're doing some damage. That's pretty decent. There's the Sombrel Island Sky, whatever it is, yeah. Too many consonants in a row. Too many jumbled letters for me to pronounce. There's a destroyer over there, right? My apologies to anyone that knows how to pronounce that, because if you've watched any of my videos before, I screw them all up. That's who I am, and we're sorry for that. I will keep picking on whoever I can pick on, whoever's in range here. But our smoke screen is about to run out, so I will need an exit strategy in 5 seconds here, right? This is the moment we decide, do we want to be aggressive, or do we want to play smart? So we're going to move in a little bit here. We do have this, my commander outfitted for smoke screen and stuff on this with a lot of these British cruisers, so there's only 26 seconds left before I've got another one to use. So if I can manage to survive for 20 more seconds, we could potentially get back in a new smoke screen and then we'd be in a much better position to help out with all of these ships. So a little bit of a risk-reward scenario here. Ideally, if you really care, this is a little risky, right? Like, you can, as a British cruiser, you can get wiped out pretty quick off the map, especially by battleships. So Koenig's not looking at us, so that's a huge perk for us. He's more interested in somebody else, surprisingly. So that is kind of a little bit of luck on our part as well here. So taking advantage of that and moving in a little bit closer, we will be in torpedo range for him very shortly. So that was kind of my thought process. Take advantage of him not paying attention, right? Now we will use our smoke screen. It's always tempting to hold on to some torpedoes when you do have two racks like that. We are too close to him to fire our guns, right? So we're going to hold off on firing our guns for a second here, just because he is within range of where even if we fire our guns in the smoke screen, he will still see us. So just checking that right now, there is the firing guns and smoke, so he is within that range. We might be able to use, I was going to say we could potentially finish him off because then it wouldn't matter, but our torpedo hit him. So we finally have a whole 10 grand on the board for this match. Furutaga is going to get some torps too, so we will give him everything we have. He has plenty of torpedoes too. His firing angle is kind of crap compared to ours though, right? So the Japanese cruisers can fire their torpedoes kind of almost like 90 degrees, like to the side, and then behind them, right, is their like torpedo firing angle, right? So that we were able to take full advantage of that, and then they also don't like AP rounds in their sides either. So we had got Citadel hits on him as well. So that worked out for us really good. That destroyer is going to be my point of focus now at this point. We're probably the best person on our team to take that out. We just have to be conscious of the battleship. So these two guys on the orange team are the only ones left. We have 2 kills, which is pretty good for given the number of ships that we're up against. You know, there's 3 other teams of 3, right? So we are doing great, and of course we're going to be unspotted once he goes around the corner, right? So as long as we're not firing our guns, the Derfelflinger can't see us unless their destroyer spots for him, right? So we will take full advantage of this, get behind, you know, out of line of sight from the Derfelflinger by getting kind of behind, getting this island in between the 2 of us, right? So potentially we could fire at him now. If we could fire over that mountain. I don't know why. Well, that destroyer must be moving to the left, right? So we'll keep ourselves kind of pointed appropriately. Don't go broadside, right? Just in case this destroyer does spot us. So I don't think we can fire over the island. So I'm basically, like, at this point, I'm like hyper focused on getting torpedoes on him, right? So. And this is also like a little risky too. He's not looking at us, you know, just because we weren't spotted. He is hyper focused on our battleship. So we can pop the smoke screen now. Once we got in range of our allies, that came back quicker. So that's part of what fully packed is. You get an extra consumable charge for everything, and then consumables restart faster. So he did take a shot at us, but didn't work out for him. We were hitting the brakes pretty hard there. So we kind of just clipped our nose. And of course, since he's turning away, because he's being smart, right, we weren't able to get torpedoes on him, right? So dumping torps here, just because that's where the smoke screen is. Their destroyer at this point, you know, like he literally only has one choice, and it's to come challenge the zone, right? So he can either wait the 30 seconds for us to just straight up win the game, or he can get in here and try and fight, right? So I would do the same thing he's doing. Even if you know you're going to lose, have some fun with it. You know, Arena is XP based, and you're the only guy left, you know, given the circumstances. I'd YOLO it and just like charge the battleship or something, you know, right? So we'll see what happens. Yeah, our destroyer can keep him spotted. We'll back up here and see if we can't shoot on the other side of this island. And we'll send our torpedoes here. Come on, baby. Killed number 3. Come on. Reload, 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 reload. Ah, of course. That'll be it for that game. We'll see where we ended up on the leaderboard. I felt like we did good. I mean, you know, like we didn't really have like the highest damage numbers, but then again, you know, it is tier 4. So, but this is kind of your summary screen. Here's how much XP I've earned this, you know, this arena round, right? So, but yes, tier 4. I mean, we did well, man. That Charlie team, that Destroyer, he had 17. He beat me, even though we get kind of a bonus for being on the winning team. So nice job. Props off to him. We get a whole almost 100 grand out of that game in cash, and then moved up along the reward tree, right? So this is ranked battles now. So this is, I think, like literally the following week had some ranked battles, and then these were both like 10-minute games. So figured I'd combine them all into one glorious 20-minute voiceover for you, because you guys love hearing me talk, right? I hate hearing me talk. But anyway, ranked this time around was tier 7s, and the Suzuya. I really should look up how to pronounce this ship because I play as it all the time. But yeah, I am a fan of the Japanese cruisers, but like you saw before, they can be easily dealt with under the right circumstances. We took out that Furutaka with our Emerald in the last game, right? So always have to be conscious of that. They are not a great balls to the wall, head-on charge kind of ship. And in reality, no cruiser is, right? But some better than others, but yes. This one is best served either kind of out in open water, angled away, like pointed away, because then you can dump torpedoes back behind you. Torpedoes have pretty long range with these ships. And then they're really good at setting ships on fire. So you'll see me use high explosive rounds most of the time with Japanese cruisers, right? So some of their strengths lie in setting fires, and fires burn longer and cause more damage, like that kind of thing. So we have the commander sort of outfitted for that, right? So this is a unique setup with these 2 zones for ranked tier on this kind of shrunk down version of this map, whatever it's called. So I'm going to try and sneak in between here, and this is a little risky because I'm going to be broadside. So if I get spotted here, that could just end me if their battleship happens to you know, be looking this way. But ideally, I like to get some torpedoes through through these cracks here, and see if we can't, you know, basically we're going for a luck shot, right? We're kind of defending that zone, seeing if we can't stir the pot, right? So this will be a good spot if that battleship can stay spotted. But then this, because you know, we could just sit there and fire spam him, right? But this lightning gets spotted by our destroyer, and I felt like, okay, that's probably the most valuable thing for me to do is help out with their destroyer, right? So this game has a bit of a rock paper scissors mentality, right? Cruisers are best at taking out destroyers, so that I kind of felt obligated. A little bit of my job, you know, in a lot of people will describe, you know, your job as this type of ship is to do this. Well, yes, that's always correct. You know, they're almost always right with that, but not at risk of you dying, right? You can help 0 when you're dead. So always make sure it's appropriate so you don't put yourself at risk. And it amazes me the amount of hate mail I get when I don't risk my life to save somebody else's in this game. So, but play how you want to play, right? But that is my 2 cents. You know, as a cruiser, you're really good at taking out destroyers. Go for them when it makes sense, and don't risk your ship. So now we're at a little bit of a stand. So we did an awesome job helping finish off that cruiser, right? Or that destroyer. So we didn't get the kill, but that's not a big deal. You know, for the most part, this game is XP based. So, and I think with ranked too, if you're, you know, and kills definitely help you with XP, but just doing damage, capturing zones, getting like, you know, defend banners, basically anything that gives you those banners at the top right, will help you with earning XP. But yeah, so with ranked, I think even if you're on the losing team, but you happen to be the like biggest contributor for your team, like you got more XP than anyone else on your team, you will not like lose a star. Like it won't backtrack you for the ranked season, right? So there's always a benefit to just sticking it out and like playing smart and just doing your job, right? Just getting some stuff done, getting medals, getting banners, getting defense, right? So that's kind of what you'll see me doing when I'm playing ranked and I'm in the right mindset, correct? Right? So sometimes we're playing this game and we're just goofing off or being stupid, and usually can acknowledge when I'm playing like an idiot, right? So torps coming from their cruiser. We'll see if we can't avoid these. I hang out a little bit and push forward a little bit more instead of turning, so I held off turning for a second just so I could get around those, right? And that worked out for us. A little bit of luck too. Kind of wish I had had my sonar ready, but we had triggered it early in the game when that when we were helping fight their destroyer. So this is a little bit of a risky situation. If I get spotted, both that Plymouth is gonna hurt if we get hit with AP from him, and definitely the Iowa can probably one-shot us when we're in this cruiser, especially if we're angled poorly. So we want to be careful here. Plymouth got some decent shots at us, but we continued to turn in towards him, so that helped us out. And then I am also being very, very mindful of where the Iowa is. So there's a reason I'm moving in this direction, and it's to try and avoid, to try and stay angled appropriately towards this Plymouth, as well as not be able to get shot by the Iowa. So there's a island, mountain, and kind of there between me and the Iowa now. So I feel a little bit safer now that I've made it a little bit closer. And then, like I said before, we will see if we can just get some fires started on this Plymouth. Get some banners to get XP in case we lose, right? So I know he's got decent range torpedoes too, but I want to try and get my butt swung around here so that I can send mine towards him, right? So if he backs up or comes back around, we'll have some torpedoes on the way for him, right? Alright, and we're going to move forward because we don't want to be broadside to him. Oh, now he's spotting us. He decides to come out. So, no bueno for us. We will use the heal. You'll get a little bit more. Ouch, that's going to hurt. You'll get a little bit more out of your heal if you're using it while you're taking fire. So, you know, with the exception of if you're almost dead and you just have to use your heal, right? You know, while it's going, if you're taking damage, you could potentially earn some more heal out of it, right? So, always a good thing to keep in mind, especially when you're a cruiser. That health is just that much more valuable sometimes. Just because you can really get, yeah, like he tore us up pretty good, right? So we were in a battle for each of our lives, and I kind of wish our battleship would have just smoked him, right? But that did not happen. We're getting picked up by his sonar, so we triggered our sonar, figuring we'd be able to keep him spotted with ours. We also have airplanes that would help spot in this situation, but we don't need them out right now, so I will save it. I will save our airplanes for when our sonar runs out, if we need to get us another spot on that cruiser, depending on what he does, right? So it's unfortunate because I can't really stick my nose out while I'm spotted with this Iowa, because yeah, as you can see, he lobbed some bullets at us, and those potentially hurt quite a bit. And again, we've got the damage, the heal going as we're taking the hit, so it kind of gives us a little bit more, we get a little bit more out of it, right? Got the Iowa on fire though, so maybe we can get this kill. Alright, and then I'm just like confused as to like which way the cruiser is going to go, right? So trying to back up so that I can fire over these islands back at the Iowa, and of course we did a ton of damage to that island there, so good thing, you know, yeah. Let's see if we can't. I can't imagine, like, I can't believe somebody hasn't finished this Iowa, but if we can light him on fire, I'm pretty sure he probably used his damage con when we lit him on fire. So if we can get him on fire, he's goner. 2 fires for him, so I'm going to ignore him if I can still shoot this Plymouth. Nope, we got the island some more, another 10 grand damage done to the island. Might as well shoot at the Iowa, but yeah, there's no way he's surviving. Our fire should take him out. So back up, see if we can't get beyond this island so that we can shoot at the Plymouth. It's going to be one of those scenarios where like I'm just not going to be able to get get a firing solution on him, right? There we go, he's coming out. Looks like he's just kind of ducking and weaving and running away at this point, so yeah, just a matter of time. If we can get the kill, great. If not, we win this match and progress through ranked. Another fire on him, so I think that's the second one we triggered, so he may not have damage control anymore. But that was a good volley too. And that ends the game for us. Yay! Alright, we'll see where we end up on the leaderboard on this one. This was either my second or third ranked game that time around, so we moved up, right? So you need 2 wins in a row to progress, right? It did put us at the top. We made a nice 400 grand. Awesome blossom. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll have more videos on the way.